What's up, everybody? What's up? We live. Need everybody tune in. Put a thumbs up in the comments if you can hear us clearly. If you can hear me clearly, just give me a little thumbs up. Let the people know. Let me know y'all with me. Anybody give me something. All right. What's going on with you, my brother? Good brother James, yeah. All right. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you to everybody who has been tuning in, all of the people who have thus far been on the podcast. Really appreciate it. We're doing this for the culture, man. We're doing this for the people. So we appreciate y'all, man. Thank you so much. All donations are welcome. I'm gonna put the BCAT Cash App in the comments, and just like I said, all donations are welcome. That's the Cash App for BCAP. If anybody wants to donate or feels like they're getting something out of these, if you feel like you're getting something out of these podcasts, if you feel like you're learning something, you feel like it's benefiting you in any way, please feel free to donate and just show support. Without further ado, thank you and welcome to another episode of the Black Community Advancement Project podcast. This is the platform that teaches the culture how to build generational wealth and to truly get free through our financial real estate entrepreneurship courses and our books, as well as we highlight activists, entrepreneurs, and everyday people doing extraordinary things for our community. I'm your host, financial empowerment coach Powerell, and with us today, I am very, very excited to bring to y'all. This man he's a life coach. Indeed. He's an entrepreneur. Indeed. He's a social activist. Most importantly, he's a father. Husband. Yes, sir. Yeah. Indeed. The good brother Laquan Pittman, also most famously known as LP the Coach. Indeed. So just please, y'all, throw some claps in the comments, man. Throw some claps in the comments so we can know that y'all feel us today, man. All right, my brother. So, go ahead, LP, man. Just give the people a little bit of your background, how you came here, what brought you to Binghamton.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, what's going on, everybody? Hope all is well. LP the Coach, certified life, relationship, and family and men's health and wellness coach. I am the founder of the I Coaching Network, located 101 Washington Ave, Endicott, New York. Born and raised Brooklyn, Crown Heights, Brooklyn. Second oldest sibling of 5. Raised by a strong, independent black queen. Indeed. As Power mentioned, I am also a father of 3. 3 amazing boys. Oh man, 3 amazing boys. Husband of 1 wife. An amazing queen. Yes. Shout out to Giselle. Yes. Jizzy, my love. So yes, I came to Binghamton the year 2003. Okay. My mom got a state job out here. She thought it would be right to kind of transition the family, from Brooklyn to Binghamton. I'm glad she did.
Yeah. I'm glad she did. I'm glad she did,
yeah.
And the path is it's always. It's a roundabout way. We never know where we're going to really end up. We have an idea where we're going to go. We don't know how we're going to get there, but we just, put in the effort to get where we want to be. So
right.
Here we are, you know what I mean? So it was by destiny or, by design.
By design.
By design.
I'm going to start that destiny talk. We're going to
get to all that. All right, so
that destiny talk is over.
So look, LP,
yes, sir.
What made you want to become a life coach, and what was your journey to actually follow through and execute to become, to actually being a life coach?
Okay. Well, first and foremost, before we even get into why I became a life coach, I want to kind of clarify what a life coach is.
Okay.
A life coach is someone who has a very unique perspective, and who also possess the ability to take you from where you are to where you want to go. Oftentimes, life coaches, we get confused with counselors, and there's nothing wrong with therapists and counselors, although we counsel when needed. But the counselor, his job is to take you from your past and bring you up to where you are. He deals with your past. He deals with the past turmoil, the past regret, the past rejection, failure, all the other stuff. He deals with that. Right? And oftentimes they stop in the present. But my job as a life coach is to take you from where you are to where you want to be. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I ain't
So now, the B clause of your question, why did I want to become a life? Well, I never wanted to become a life coach. One, I never knew what the term life coach even meant. What I wanted was to see people win. I wanted to see people in a better position.
Yeah, that's what I'm. That's my range right there.
And that came from a pure, passionate place. And even when I tried to shake it, I couldn't shake it.
Right.
See that? So when you ask about me wanting to become a life coach, I can think back on when I first was actually a coach in its purest form. Before I knew about the title, before I even knew who I was. It kind of goes back to the age of my adolescence, with my cousins and whatnot, and friends of him on the block. And even getting into sports, I always had this thing about me to where if it was a competitive sport, even if I was competing against you, I was always giving you tips on how to better your game.
You was helping the competition,
dude, when you think, that's weird, thinking back retrospectively.
Yeah, right.
So
right.
Like, why are you talking to the opponent about what he can do to possibly defeat you?
Right.
You see that? But at that point in time, it was not about the victory. You see that? It was about building up someone else. Now, you're going to take this L. You're going to take this L with a good heart.
Right.
You're going to understand it better.
Right.
You know why you have to take the L.
And then
So I also coach you through taking L's.
So yeah, a lot of us actually, we laughing about it, but a lot of us need help with taking L's because a lot a lot of people don't know how to take an L. You know what I'm saying? And there's ways, like, it's cliche to say take the L gracefully, but no, take the L, take the lesson out of the L.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Taking the lesson out of the L. So it's, for a lot of us, who've had setbacks in our lives, and we've all had them in one way, shape, or form. So learn to have somebody that can help you how to, like, instead of just beating yourself up and being down and saying, you know what, I can still get to where I want to be. And you got somebody like yourself as a life coach to show you how to do that.
It's very imperative that people understand that who you are and what you did is different. Oftentimes we can take an L or take a failure, and we can personalize that. You see that?
Absolutely.
And we can kind of look at it as we are the failure. You see that? Now you failed. Now we're not going to deny that. Now we're not going to take no L and call it the devil. We don't do that.
Right.
You see that? But we help you get an understanding.
Right.
You are not the failure.
Right.
And you know what? In some seasons of your life, you have to fail. Oh, man. Because it builds character.
Absolutely.
You see that?
Absolutely. What are you without that?
Right.
You need
something
to take that to grow.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, definitely. So what was the journey though to actually becoming a life coach? Like, okay, so you got your why. You seen that, okay, this is something that I'm passionate about. I didn't even know this really existed. This was a thing. So now you say, okay, this is what I see. This is what I want to do. How do you go about actually completing that path to, all right, I'm gonna do it. You execute it.
You know what? I've had the opportunity to grow into many hats in my life.
Like all of us.
Yeah, man. But as it pertains to the life coaching, I kind of look back retrospectively and kind of put things in order and understand that it was all a part of the making to who I am today.
Mm-hmm.
You see that the upbringing, gang affiliation, drug, whatever.
Right.
You see that?
Mm-hmm.
Pastoring or going into a religious teacher.
Mm-hmm.
You see that? All that kind of brings me to this road right here.
Okay. So
it all was the journey.
So, okay. But I mean, like, okay, so to get the title, did you have to like go through any type of schooling? Was there something you had to do?
Mm-hmm. Yes. There are several certification programs that you can go through. I did not get a degree in life coaching. Life has taught me life coaching. There's some things, and this is no disrespect to all those who are matriculating through the university of whatever. No disrespect, but there's some things that only life can teach you.
Absolutely, that's 100%. Life is the best teacher.
Right. Ink on a piece of paper doesn't qualify me to, as a life coach, go into the dead place and bring you out. Because that's what a real life coach is. See, there's two types of life coaches. There's one. There are ones who came into life coaching and maybe they saw something glamorous about it, the money and all that other stuff, power, name. Yeah. But then there are those of us who are called into it. See that? For those who have those unique abilities to kind of go into the dead place and, again, pull people out. So, again, it's not my job just to sit behind my desk or sit behind a screen and hear about you fighting your issues as a life coach. It's my job to put my boots on, lace them bad boys up, and get in that fight with you. And take them hits with you. I'm your walking, breathing support system.
That's different. You
see that?
Yeah, that's different. Yeah, that's definitely different because I see a lot of times, for like to be like a drug counselor, they say like the best ones who for addiction who deal with are ones who were actually in addiction before. Right. So if you've never been in addiction, you can't understand. You don't understand addiction.
You cannot speak a language. You're unqualified.
Right. So that piece of paper you went to school for don't mean nothing because you don't have no inner workings of what this is like. But
you can give me the knowledge of it, but not the wisdom through it. You tapping in.
My man
you about to tap in. Yeah,
he got bars.
Yeah, this how that go.
Alright, so
this how that go.
I mean, obviously, we just we kind of pretty much touched on it. But what are some of the things that you cover as a life coach?
Wow. I help my clients break through mental barriers, destroy limiting beliefs and those toxic thinking patterns that keep us in those toxic cycles.
Can you give me an example? Like, I know but just give people an example of like some of those toxic habits or behaviors that continue on.
Negative self-talk. Yeah. I find it amazing how we as a people we can cheer others on, and it's so genuinely we can say I'm really proud of you, and for all those who believe in God, God is really blessing you.
Right.
But deep down inside, we don't think that God can do it for us. We don't think that we're qualified for the blessing. See that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
absolutely.
It's those type of thinking or those cycle of thinkings which are oftentimes introduced to us through bad experiences. Often it's one bad experience to cause a negative cycle.
So just something as simple as like calling yourself stupid for something. Like,
yes, just something as minuscule as that. Oh, that was dumb. You see that? Because we have eyes, we have eye gates, and we have ear gates. See that? And everything we hear is as a seed, and it is planted in the soil of our mind, and it then births a harvest through our actions. You see that? So if we tell ourselves
the brother is speaking right
something
now.
Even so small as to gotta look fat in this. Oh, I look so fat in this. That's negative talk right there.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So now anyone who comes and tell you that you're other than fat, although you would say thank you, but you'll combat that comment.
Come on.
You see that? Because although you told me that,
I didn't tell myself.
I didn't tell myself that.
Wow. Wow.
You see that?
That was. Whew. That was serious. Yeah, that was serious.
Oh yeah.
Hope y'all paying attention. For real, yo. This is one for the. I'm telling y'all, this one right here, y'all gonna have to go back and watch this a few times, and I already can see that right now, man. Then I'm sure that a lot of difficult topics have come up in your sessions.
Yes.
And so, like, which one would you say have been the most challenging that you've seen people deal with or have to cope with?
Man, let me see. Hands down, it would have to be relationships.
Yeah, they're complicated, man.
And I would say relationships, simply because we live in a selfish society mixed with a dash of cancel culture. Selfish society
culture, man.
Selfish society mixed with a dash of cancel culture. Now watch what that produces.
Explain that.
Selfishness creates an unbalance in relationships because you're only focused on yourself, right? So that weighs the scale, that tips the scale, right? So that creates unbalance, and that cancel culture that creates unnecessary lack of growth. Because if you're canceling people, people are here to help us grow in one form or another.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm quick to cancel you, I'm losing out on the vital things that you came into my life to give me.
Come on now.
Now let's go into why we cancel people. Look, we mainly cancel people because they say things that we don't like to hear. But I've learned a long time ago, just because they're hating doesn't mean that they're lying.
Bars.
Just because they are a hater doesn't mean they are a liar. Yeah. I can strongly dislike what you're doing and speak against it. It can be truth. You just don't like it. You see, they just categorize me as a hater because I'm going against what you... Right.
That's different. Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So the cancel culture it creates unnecessary lack of growth because people are here to help us grow. They're here to help us mature. I do believe that all things kind of work together. It kind of works together to build us and to make us better. Absolutely. Life's about lessons and blessings. Absolutely. Lessons and blessings. Period. Right. You see that? And how do we learn lessons? Through people. How do we get lessons? Through people. If we're canceling,
you're missing out.
Come on.
You're missing out.
If you tell me a hard truth and I cancel you, I reject that truth. So matter of fact, or I take that truth and I take it and spin it in my mind into a negative narrative.
So they missing the message because of the messenger.
The messenger. Because all the time the messenger is messy. But we're going to wait to get into that later on. The messy messenger. Somebody who done been through hell. A messy messenger. No one listens to the messy messenger. Although he's wise. Because he's learned some things in this mess.
Let him know. You gotta let him know, man. You gotta let him know, man. That's whew.
Indeed.
I'm telling y'all, you're gonna watch this one a few times. So, all right. So you said about couples, right? And you said, we talked about relationships, but we wasn't talking about like intimate relationships. We were just talking about relationships in general, right? Because anything's a relationship, right? This is a relationship. You have your, associate relationships, your work relationships. Right. So everything's different relationships. But what are the top 3 issues you've helped couples get through?
Wow. One is understanding. I oftentimes teach my clients in my relationship and family coaching sessions. Understanding is the foundational glue that holds any relationship together. Some people think that it's compatibility. It's a strong runner-up, but no.
Mm-hmm.
Some people say sex. That's good, but no, that's not it.
Mm-hmm.
It's understanding.
Mm-hmm.
If I understand why you do the things that you do, right, and I make the conscious decision within myself, either to deal with it or dump it. If I choose to deal with it, we can have a successful relationship because I understand you.
Mm-hmm.
If I know that you hate company on Thursdays, we can live life long together. Because, okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, company. Thursday, not nobody come through. Friday, party back on.
Mm-hmm.
You see that?
Absolutely.
So it's all about understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Secondly, it's communication. Because after that understanding, how do I effectively communicate with you? After I've come to understand your level of thinking, your level of comprehension, now I have to formulate a way to effectively communicate with you to get my message, or to convey my message effectively.
Mm-hmm. Going back to the understanding part for just a second.
Yeah.
Does that also deal with like understanding? I mean, I'm kind of saying it, but like understanding the person's like past or what they, how they grew up.
One's context, culture, their style of communication, all of that. It's all wrapped up in understanding. If I can understand you, I can deal with you or decide to dump you.
That's simple.
And watch this. Dump you effectively. Oh, because I coach people through breakups too. Yeah, I coach people through separations and divorces and breakups. So yeah, effectively dump. How do you effectively dump somebody? Understanding. See that? People oftentimes go back and forth in relationships because they lack the understanding of why or what we went wrong or how. It's always like, if had I done it this way, would we work? See that? So that lack of closure, it kind of play back in your mind oftentimes, and it keeps sending you back to kind of find the answer. But if you have understanding as to why I had to leave you, I would never come back. I understand why. I understand you're a dirtbag. Right. I understand you're a liar. I understand you're a cheater.
Right.
You see that?
I mean, you just understand that, like, that y'all on two different paths, or y'all, or whatever,
right.
whatever it is,
Right. Just an understanding of you,
right,
and an understanding of me,
right,
which is also important,
right.
Because if I don't understand me, it's no point in trying to understand you,
right. And I think, I mean, I'm a financial empowerment coach, so I really am like a thought promoter.
Power round.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
But I kind of deal with a bunch of different little realms. But I'm saying, and understanding yourself,
indeed,
right, and understanding the other person that you're dealing with when you're dealing with relationships. When you understanding that and understanding yourself, do you have to like be like, basically real with yourself or truthful with yourself, or like who you are and what you dealt with, and,
yes,
you know what I mean, your own past.
It is I'm a part in my coaching experience where I call it the benefits of introspective examination. It was Shakespeare, if I'm not mistaken, who said, "To thy own self be true."
Right.
Oh man, I love that statement, but I oftentimes rebuttal it. Say, well, you can't be true to yourself unless you know thyself. See that?
So we got understanding is the number one thing that you said. The top. When I asked the question was, top 3 issues that you've helped couples get through. You said the first one had to be understanding. The second one was communication. So what was number 3?
Number 3 is understanding the 3 A's of a successful relationship. The 3 A's. And I oftentimes teach my clients the 3 A's are affection, appreciation, and attention. Affection, appreciation, and attention. Yeah. I mean, and yeah, think about it. Those 3 A's, they are kind of like the 3.
Yeah, they're like, that's like
foundational legs. They there,
Right.
Attention, so, you need attention, man.
So affection, attention,
attention, and appreciation. Indeed.
I mean, they kind of self-explanatory.
If you lack in any of those, like it's gonna be a struggle. The relationship can can survive,
Mm-hmm.
but it will not thrive.
Mm.
It will always be on survival mode. You always just have enough. Just have enough. You'll always just have enough.
Right. You won't be.
You won't be thriving through. Right.
You won't be growing.
Right.
In a relationship.
Growing effectively.
Right. And you think that in every relationship there should be some growth. There should be growing in the relationship.
Right. Right. And oftentimes I think that in relationships, the reason why it go downhill so fast is because there's no goal set.
Ooh. Ooh.
There's no barometer, or there's no measuring. Like if there's no goal, how do I measure how far we've come?
I wish I had one of them flex balls so I could just drop bombs. This is one of my bombs right now. Yeah, my man is dropping.
Right, right.
For real.
What is the goal? What are we doing here?
Mm.
Do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
If we don't have a goal, I cannot effectively measure where we're going, how far we've come. If I've never if the goal is to get a house, it's to save it for a house,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the effective way to do that, and we both know, is to save money,
Mm-hmm.
Budget it well,
Mm-hmm.
and keep an eye on it.
Right.
But if we neglect that, we don't know where we are. We're not putting it in there. We're not saving. We're not monitoring it.
Mm-hmm.
You see that?
So, man, that was heavy. That was heavy on y'all right there.
Mm-hmm.
But in this growth, right? So in knowing that, in saying that the relationships are supposed to grow, and the 3 A's, do you believe that people can grow apart? Is that like a real? Is that really a real thing, or
Mm-hmm.
is that just something that people say like, oh well, we grew apart? Like, no, is that real in your experience?
Well, that oftentimes only happen when you don't know who you are in the beginning. If I know who I am before I meet you, there's no growing apart. And if we do everything right, if we date right, there's no real growth. If we're setting goals in a relationship, there's no real growing apart because we're both in sync with the goal.
So if the person...
Now, you can grow apart if you take on a selfish mindset and say, okay, this is not working, and you secretly begin to imagine your life without the person you're with. Eventually, you begin to go in the direction that you're looking.
Wow. So, in the growing apart...
So you can grow apart on purpose. But if your destiny is tied together upon meeting you and whatnot, okay. Power L and LP the coach, we have good chemistry. Right? If we set a goal to reach 10,000 people. Wait. Let's go back. We have to question.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you...
Because I want to get it good.
Can you really grow apart from somebody? Like, can you be like, well, this person is refusing to grow with me. They're stagnated in where I'm trying to go, where they're trying to go, whatever the case may be. So is that, like I said, is that a real thing?
You can do it on purpose. If your destiny is tied, if upon meeting and it's compatible and we see a vision and it can work, if LP the coach and Power L, if we work well together, there's no reason to grow apart unless we personally decide within ourselves we want to do something else. Because again, when you enter a relationship the right way, you are already whole. You already know who you are. You already done the work. You already healed from old past toxicities and whatnot. So you kind of have a vision as to where you're going. And if you're in a relationship, you don't have a vision where you're going, you shouldn't be in a relationship.
Right, because you're not right within yourself to
right.
Be in.
So upon meeting someone and upon dating someone, what you're doing is it's two worlds coming together. All right, two whole worlds coming together, and it's clashing. Broken pieces everywhere. The building of a relationship is taking those broken pieces of two different worlds and merging them together and seeing which ones fit together. You see that?
And that's why the dating process you're saying.
That's with that dating process, right? If I know who I am, you know who you are, and we decide to move forward in this, There's no reason. There is no growing apart unless someone decides to stop growing or take a detour.
So, because I want to move on a little bit, but that's heavy right there, bro. For real, man. That's definitely heavy.
You can grow apart at your own will.
Is there a common thread though that you've seen like throughout different situations, different?
Yes, in relationships.
Yeah, because you have the top 3 issues that people
that
couples deal with, right?
Yep.
But what about just the common thread that you noticed throughout all relationships, whether they were good or bad? What was a common thread that you see?
Selfishness. Selfishness, I believe, is a stumbling block of any relationship.
That's crazy.
Because when you're selfish, it keeps you from relating to others. You can't have a relationship without relating.
Y'all heard it? You can't have a relationship
without relating
to someone else.
And selfishness keeps that. It keeps from doing that because you're focused on me. If it don't serve me, I'll cut it off. If it doesn't help me, that's. If you're in a relationship, what about the next person?
Mm-hmm.
You have to give and receive.
Absolutely.
Those are basics. Those are. It's crazy how we have to go back to the basics with such an advanced generation.
But it's the basics that keep us on track.
It is indeed. I agree.
You can't build the most complex building without the basics.
But the basics, foundation.
Right? You need the basics. You need the basics for anything in life. The basics have to be there first. But that contract, well, I call it a contract, right? What you call goals. I believe it's a contract. Look, we got in this together. We understood that we were going to be going to here. And this is the contract. So we're growing upon this contract, upon these goals that we've set, and then without those goals being preset, without that communication being in, and those 3 A's being applied throughout the accomplishment of each of those goals, then you're saying basically people will start to detour on their own.
Detour, right. When you lose sight of the goal, you lose sight of the
Yeah, that's serious right there. So what advice, man, the dude is banging y'all with stuff. I mean, he's really hitting y'all. What advice would you give our people right now, though, as a life coach dealing with the pandemic, the presidency charade and all of that's going on, and then just like going into 2021, because now 2020 is basically over. It's not over till, it's over, but like, we've seen so much. We've dealt with so much. Pandemic, the loss, the toilet tissue craze. You know what I'm saying? Just with so much going on and that's happened. Like, what as a life coach, what would you advise us, especially our culture?
Okay. It was a African American theologian by the name of Howard Thurman who says, and I quote, "Ask not what the world needs, but instead ask what makes you come alive, then do that. For what the world needs is those who have come alive." Ask not what the world needs, but instead ask what makes you come alive, then do that. For what the world needs is those who have come alive. My advice to this generation, to the people, all those who are watching, is to find what makes you come alive, then do that. Because that's exactly what the world needs. That's exactly what the world needs. Oftentimes we don't get the right answers because we're asking the wrong questions. And one of the right questions is what makes me come alive. So if you can ask that and answer that, you're in position. You're already in position because the world needs you to come alive.
But that kind of goes back to the part where you were talking about knowing thyself, though, right?
Thyself.
Because you can't know what makes you come alive if you don't really know yourself. You don't really know what you want.
And the process, again, the process that I'm talking about, introspective examination. That is the dark night of the soul. That's when you're dealing with the shadows The ugly part of yourself, man. That if you do it effectively, man, you'll be sitting there in a fetal position, man. I'm telling you, like I had to really rebuttal my own mindset, like my introspective examination. It was challenging me to break through the confines of my cognitive, dude. Like again, breaking down mental barriers. Like that's the hardest part. I'm challenging my own beliefs here. I'm challenging my own
embedded beliefs that's been there for years.
Right, those I can't. If we really do the introspective examination, those I can't. They started very young.
I can't.
I cannot. I can't. They started very young, innocently.
Because of yourself, or because other people told you couldn't do it, and so then you said
either or, both, both. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely.
They start very small and innocently.
Nah, I mean, I definitely.
And I can't run, man. I never be able to run that fast. You crazy?
Ooh.
Then we cover it with humor.
Right.
Me running?
Yeah.
See that?
No, absolutely. Now I agree with you, man. I definitely agree with you because I've been in situations where I've had to face the ugliest parts of myself.
Oh yeah,
and just exactly what you said, man.
Crazy.
You can when you really face
nasty
yourself,
boy.
When you really face yourself and really accept like some of the things you've done or the places you've been, within yourself, and it'll make you cry. It'll make you really sit down and go, okay, I want to change this.
Indeed.
Okay, so how can I do it?
Indeed.
And then that search starts to happen.
That's when the life coach comes in.
Right? That search starts to happen, and then you be like, okay, I can't do this by myself.
Indeed.
Right? It's not that I can't necessarily.
I'll be better doing it with support.
I'll be better doing it with support.
There we go.
Right?
I'll be better doing it with support.
Right. And so they reach out to mentors and life coaches and things like that to help them. And definitely, man, I did it a little bit of a different way, but I more recently was saying, I was actually saying like I wanted a mentor in some of the areas of the things that I wanted to do, because I said,
necessary.
Yeah, because I was like, there's people who have already done it. Right? So why am I sitting here trying to figure it out on my own when I can follow the blueprint and I can follow the lead of somebody, and then when I'm going through these, they can give me the keys that I need to help me unlock those doors.
Right. And you know what? Even to a degree, when we deal with mentors and coaches, oftentimes they don't, and here's a major misconception. People oftentimes believe that coaches and counselors have to be doing better than you, or they can't be doing better than them. How can they coach you and whatnot?
Right.
It's not about position. It's about perspective.
Absolutely. Right.
Phil Jackson. I never recall Phil dunking like Shaq or shooting like Kobe.
Right.
But he coached them, right? But
That's a fact.
Did he not?
That's a fact.
What did he have that Kobe didn't have? Perspective.
That's a fact.
Don't shoot that right there. No, go over there and shoot that. And now you run that. Now you pass that. Because when you're in a game, you get a view. But the coach stands outside the game and see. So it's perspective. It's not about position. It's about perspective.
That's bars. My man is dropping bars. No, that's true. That's definitely. I mean, I don't even know really too much to say to that, because it's exactly what you said, man. It's perspective, and sometimes the person from the outside is the one that can help you the best. So they may not have more money than you. They may not, they may. But I see things different. But I see things differently.
I see it from a different angle.
Right. And so you're there. You have more money, but you're miserable.
Right.
And you're trying to get to the happiness that I have. So I'm gonna give you the perspective that you need to balance that out. And that's what life coach do.
Right. You got the money, but not the maturity. You got all this money, but I need the maturity. So as a life coach, teach me.
I'm gonna get a bell or something.
Teach me how to structure my life. You feel me? I don't need you to teach me how to get money. I got money already. But what good is money with no morals?
Right.
You see that?
Right.
Hold me accountable.
Right.
You see that? I'm weak. I need a crutch, or I need a hand up. Not a hand out now, because as a life coach, I don't get no handouts now.
Right.
I give a hand up real quick, but a hand out, no, we don't do that. Because the handout leave you where you are, or can make you comfortable where you are.
Mm-hmm.
A handout forces you to get up.
Right. Forces you to grow.
It forces you to stretch.
Yeah.
You see that, and position yourself in a position that you were not formerly in. Or you see that?
Right. And it's similar as a financial empowerment coach because, you know, I've had people be like, you know, think, oh well, I don't see him with a you know, presidential Rolex and riding in a Benz, but it's like, yeah, but you don't have the
Benz is in my mouth.
You know what I'm saying?
The Benz is in my mouth. The Bentley is in my mouth.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
you see that?
Yeah, it's just
like,
wait,
I ain't done. The cadence is in my mouth. You understand me?
Yeah, I feel you.
It's not about the money. It's right. About come on.
Right, and that's
perspective.
The perspective that I've tried to, you know, impart on people. Like, look, you know, this information is out there. I've taken the time and knowledge, you know, to go ahead and attain it in a way that now I can implement it in my life and watch it grow. But that doesn't stop me from helping you grow into where you're at, from where you're at to where you want to be. In the same sense.
Indeed.
I'm taking you from whatever you did in your past is the past. I'm taking you from where you're at now to where you want to be.
To where you want to go.
To where you want to go. So, most definitely, man. So, I mean, we kind of touched on it a little bit. You did it. You said something briefly, but it's quietly well known that you used to be a pastor. You know what I'm saying? So, what made you transition from being a pastor to being a life coach instead?
First and foremost, man, that is an exclusive. Power man.
I'm saying
you messed me up with that. Like,
I'm saying I gotta get it all in, bro. I need to know.
I'll say a little without saying too much. Yes, I did serve as a church planter and pastor in the Binghamton, Endicott area.
Okay.
For about 7 years.
Okay.
Why I no longer why I transitioned in a nutshell is a different paradigm.
Okay.
A greater understanding of people, a greater understanding of who we call God, who we call Source, and
absolutely
stuff like that. So with that greater understanding and whatnot, that kind of led me into a wilderness, and out of that wilderness, it was the life coach. It was the coaching network. It was no longer religion. It was no longer one particular religion. It wasn't even no longer. It was something. It was something
bigger than just
right. Yeah.
No, I
something larger than that. It's something way. Yeah.
I mean,
I way larger than that.
I can mirror that because of some similar paths that I took within myself. You know, going through some things and saying I wanted to stop the fight of this is the way it has to be done because it's the way this people say that it has to be done, and they say this has. But there's good people here, and there's good people here, and there's good people here.
Man, I done messed up. Yo, you know what? And this is no. See, you started it.
I'm just saying.
I was gonna be good. Like LP the coach. LP the coach was gonna be good. I came here with the intent to be good.
All of this is good.
All of it is good.
All of it is good. Nah, because there's people out there that are struggling with that. To be honest with you, you know, I believe that sometimes that it's limiting them.
Things changed. All right, the doctrine that I kind of grew up in and whatnot, man. It was how to say it? If you confess with your mouth and believe, you know, with your heart, you know that Jesus was raised from the dead, then you're saved. And whatnot, and anybody else who did not proclaim that were not. I mean, you know, you grow up in that. That's kind of cool. You know, it kind of makes it us versus them kind of, you know, mindset. You know, we're kind of better with the chosen. You're not. Then I messed around and met a righteous Muslim and a ratchet Christian, and they were telling me that the Christian were going to heaven because they made the proclamation with their mouth, and the Muslim was going to hell. Because she did not make that proclamation. I said, wait, but she's living righteously. She prays 5 times. I mean, she's living a righteous life. I mean, as far as I can see, like, you know, she's living a righteous life. No, she's not gonna make it. I said, okay, what? so much ratchet pants gonna make it. There's no disrespect, no disrespect.
Nah, that's
but like you're telling me like
right.
So you can see, and then that didn't sit well,
right?
Because if we're gonna talk about righteousness and all this other stuff, it just doesn't make it just doesn't
right. It didn't sit well within your soul, and that was
Indeed.
and that was speaking to you,
right?
You know, and sometimes you're shown things for a reason, so that that growth and that transition happened.
Indeed.
And I only brought that out, and I put that out there to the people because there are some people who feel like they're tired of, but they feel like, how would I be viewed if I step away from this, or if I, and it's not so much that you're stepping away from, you're just saying, look, I know that he's greater than this one.
More so, you're not stepping away, you're stepping further in.
Mm.
Because at the heart, and I don't mean to come and
Right.
speak religion and whatnot, but it's something called omnism, or one who's an omnist. They believe that there is truth in all religions as it pertains to the love of God and source and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's fair. That's fair. It's not a you against me or us. It's there's truth in it all.
Right.
And that bespeaks to a bigger God or a bigger source.
Right.
See that?
Right.
Like if you can express to me the largest of God's love and how it can reach any other religion, every region, every nation, now I can really, I can rock with this guy. Like, I can rock with this man. Like, it's not really about, if you tie your shoes twice on Thursday and turn around 3 times on Friday and blow dust on, that's really?
Yeah.
Really? So it all come down to, really?
So that's what I was trying to draw
Right.
out of you. I had to keep
you
doing.
set me up.
I had to. So I had to, I had to draw that out of you, right?
Yeah.
Because when we see a lot of the racism and things that's going on, a lot of the people who call themselves, who are racist rather, they believe themselves to be Christians.
Right.
Right? And the fact that that these people who are, saying they love Jesus, they love God or whatever, but they're racist, and they're saying that it's because it kind of comes in hand with that.
Well,
we're against, they didn't make this proclamation, they're against me.
That whole erroneous mindset, I believe it started with Constantine. Without getting deep, I believe it started with Constantine. I don't understand how you can proclaim to fight on behalf of a savior who was a peaceful man.
Mm.
So slay by this symbol, slay in his name. Like, wasn't Christ peaceful? Like, was he the Lamb of God?
Right.
Was he the turn the other cheek? Right.
Right.
So now you have Constantine saying, "This Christ told me to slay and start crusades and whatnot in his name." That right there was the contradiction of what y'all call Christianity.
Mm.
And it's the same thing. It's the same thing over and over and over. God told us to hang niggas. God ain't that what?
Right.
You hung niggas in Jesus' name?
Right.
Wow.
Right. Crazy.
And the part I don't really understand or what baffles me is, and I heard somebody else say it, I said, oh man, this is nuts. They said, so if the slaves were Christians and they prayed, and the slave masters were Christians and they prayed, who did God answer?
Mm.
He said,
Oh boy. That's gonna mess up. You said you was gonna be a little controversial.
I'm about to start my car because I'm getting out of here.
Alright, so I do want to ask, like, okay, so we went over a couple of those things, and of course I asked you how you felt like you could, you've kind of spoken on how you can impact people differently as a life coach compared to as being a pastor.
Yeah.
Because there's that limitation is not there, right?
Yeah. It's like being a life coach. It kind of demands me to go into the dark places.
Right.
And in the Christian context, To my understanding, it states we should, or excuse me, Christians are to come out from among them and be separate, and touch not the unclean thing. He said, then I will receive you. So if I am to come out from among them and be separate, how am I supposed to transform them and win them and I gotta be in it?
When the leader comes from amongst the people, so and the reason that is because they have to be relatable to the people. So if you come out and then you're not no longer relatable to them,
that's only now. That's different. Okay. Okay. Now, when we speak to life coaching and whatnot, and getting in, lacing up your boots, and getting into the fight, that's one aspect. But then we're talking about leadership. There's 3 levels to leadership. Now, because you brought up the whole Christian thing, and because your background is Christian, I got to speak about Moses.
Well, I got a few different backgrounds.
Yeah. So, Moses walked 3 levels with the people. First, he walked with the people. Then he walked ahead of the people. Then he walked above the people in the mountains. So I mean, yeah. But as far as life coaching go and whatnot, it's you getting into the fight. It's you getting in there.
Okay. So, all right. So you're a life coach, right?
Indeed.
But there's people who they're like, man, my cousin. They go to their cousin, they go to their uncle, and that's who they used to really talk to, to get issues. But some people are not comfortable talking to those people that are in their immediate family or in their around their circle. So why do you feel people feel more comfortable coming to somebody like a life coach, somebody, then, even though you're not a counselor, you do have to counsel people from where they're at to where they want to go.
Right.
So why do you think that people come to you compared to going to like their cousin, their uncle, or somebody else, that might be around the front or something?
Ignorance. Because I'm ignorant to everything.
Oh,
I'm as ignorant as you want me to be. I was not
expecting that. I was not expecting that answer.
Indeed.
Okay. Say it again.
I'm as ignorant as you want me to be. That's why. And ignorance is a safe place. When nobody knows me, so I can recreate myself. So that's why you try to put that stuff with family. Man, you that same old, you kid who's the pee in the bed. Get out of here.
Right.
You're like, that I can never grow out a kitty that used to pee in the bed. You feel me?
Right.
Like, man, I would never be anything bigger than Kenny. You feel me?
Right.
But if you come to another circle, hey, what's your name? My name's Kenneth. Oh, okay, nice to meet you, Kenneth. Now the story starts. So now I can recreate myself in a different environment. And they have a different perspective of me in that environment. So why do they come to me? Because I have a different perspective in my ignorance. I don't know unless you tell me. And that's confident in people. That's real.
Yeah.
That's real.
That's real?
That's real.
And I was not expecting that answer. So I just want y'all to know how much y'all just the game is put out there to y'all, because that's serious right there. And it is a blessing to be able to have that, because that's a lot of reasons why some people move out of where they grew up at and move to other places, because they want to recreate themselves. So it's kind of like the same thing. You go to somebody to talk to who you feel like don't know you, and now you can create whoever you want to be.
Whoever
you can be whoever you want to be, right? The only thing is, as a life coach, I'm sure you can see through a lot of the BS.
Of course. I've been in the people who've been in this for years, man.
Right.
And again, I told you, there are some of us, some life coaches, who came into life coaching, and there's those who were called into life coaching. You think you will be called into a life coaching position and not have gift to back up your life assignment?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, pure life coaches. They are gifted life coaches now.
Nah, I agree.
Yeah,
I hear you. Trust me.
Hey, we going. I'm
with you, brother. What role? And we really don't hit so much stuff. Like, we done ran through mad time, but I don't care. This is our platform. It should be 2 hours if I wanted it to be. But anyway, what role have you seen financial literacy playing in people's lives?
Oh man, it has revolutionized people's thinking. It has transformed people's entire mindsets and ideology as it pertains to money, and wealth and legacy. Just a small piece of financial literacy can take you a long way. like just understanding what assets and liabilities are.
Mm-hmm.
Just something as small as that.
Right.
You would even shop differently once you understand that.
Absolutely. No, absolutely.
I want more assets and not like. So now it kind of changes your whole mindset, your whole paradigm as it pertains to shopping.
Mm-hmm.
That little piece of information. So I've seen financial literacy. I mean, it has taken people from as but credit score. Credit scores of like wow. I mean like two to like 690. Just that information, just that information on how to budget and how with secured credit cards.
Right.
You see that, just that whole knowledge piece behind,
Right.
That's stomping in your ground now.
No, absolutely. But I just wanted to know because we do, as a financial empowerment coach, I do cross over into realms of the life coaching aspects.
Right.
Now, I mean, I didn't know that until you actually explained what it was a life coach is. Understanding and taking somebody from where they're at to where they want to be.
Where they want to go.
So
I depend on their life and finances.
Right. So I do the same thing in terms of, and sometimes I have to deal with, negative habits that they dealt with,
Spending habits.
Yeah, spending habits.
Oh, it's horrible.
Oh, even
you know why they're being broke.
Even
so they're being broke.
Yeah, not
so
only just that, just even traumas from their, from their past, from their childhood, from their family, traditions that were passed down, even going along with holidays and things like that as well. So coming down and being a financial empowerment coach and saying, okay, look, there's some changes that need to be made here, there, and this is how you're gonna get on track with this or that or whatever. But I didn't know, like, if as a life coach, do you advise people to go and you say, okay, look, I'm helping you with this part, but you need one of the things that's making you unhappy with where you're at in your life or where you're saying you want to go. One of your goals is XYZ, and you understand what their goals are as a life coach to where they want to go. You say, I didn't know if you said, okay, you need to go and get your finances in order. And that's also going to help you because one of the reasons you're stressing so much is because of that. So that's why I asked the question, like, do you, advise people to go and get the education and take that leadership?
All right. I am a life coach, relationship and family coach, and men's health and wellness coach. The advice, and I don't give them all my clients the same exact advice. We have plans of action.
Absolutely.
And we have tailor-made plans of action.
Absolutely.
And
everybody's
that depends on
different.
Right. So some people may not need to go to a financial institution. Some people may need to go to the financial institution within them in their minds because they don't have a money problem. They have mental problems or mind issues.
Absolutely.
You see that?
No, I agree. So
sometimes the issue is not go get another job. It's
right.
It's lose the second job and just learn how to
manage what you
manage and maintain. Yeah, because your peace is more greater than your prosperity in the long run.
Oh man. Bang bang. Yo, I had to throw that one out. Yo, all right. So I'm gonna start trying to wrap this up. I know we really getting into some things, but what struggles do you deal with in your own life that you have to call upon your experience as a life coach? What have you had to deal with in your own life?
Still grasping the understanding of my entire context.
Hold on, rewind that back. Say that one more time.
Grasping the understanding of my entire context. That's a struggle for me. I'm very analytical. I'm a thinker. I'm an introverted thinker. So some of the best fun I have is by myself.
Absolutely. I'm cracking myself up. And
being introspective, I oftentimes do an introspective examination. And just trying to piece the puzzles together. Like, okay, at this age I was here and I did this, but now why did I have to go through that? Why did they have to tell me that? Why was that a rejection? Oh, that rejection was not rejection, it was redirection. Okay. You see that?
Right. So you really life coach yourself?
Oh, every day. Every day. This is an ongoing thing because life is an ongoing thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you never really stop your learning. You never really stop your growing. Because you can't. You know, there's going to be new experiences. There's going to be new levels. Once you pass the test of that level, now you're going to go to the next, and you're going to have the different challenges, different difficulties, and you know.
Indeed.
Yeah. Absolutely. Do you feel though that like being the fact that you are a life coach, that puts you under the microscope even more? Like people be like, yo, that's LP the coach. Why he acting like that? Or why he posting that on Facebook? That's LP the coach.
No. I got more scrutiny as a young pastor in Binghamton, and I was the youngest church planter in Binghamton at the time. Mm-hmm. So I got a lot of scrutiny with that. Mm-hmm. And still adjusting to this newfound faith. When I say newfound faith, I was always introduced to Christianity, but when I got kind of deeper into it, I left the streets and I went to the church. Mm-hmm. You know, it was like a whole new thing. So kind of probably adjusting to that kind of lifestyle, understanding the do's and the don'ts of that. Mm-hmm. Not only that was I not only came back to the church, but I also excelled rapidly. Mm. So having to deal with that, and again,
you had that life experience.
That it was just that, and dude, I can't explain what was it.
Right.
I mean, I was just came off the street, had the blue flag. I tucked the blue flag in, you know. Right. The pastor at the time, he said, "Man, I see something in you, man, and I want to work with that." He's like, "Yeah, I know you don't trust nobody, but you trust me." Mm. All right. Trusted him. You know, and from that, like it kind of excelled, went from.
He became like a life coach for a period of time for you until you grew, until it was time for you to. Yeah, man, that's
I still didn't get it right either. Oh my God, I still didn't get it right. Oh, so I was young, ambitious, passionate,
right,
and gifted. Mm-hmm. Like and. It's not tooting your own horn. It's come to the realization of who you are, because gifting can be dangerous as well.
Absolutely, it could be your superpower and your
kryptonite.
I spoke about that before.
Right.
How your greatest power could be.
So I had a lot of humbling experiences. I had a lot of public failures. Mm-hmm. You know, so.
But that. You know, that makes you, and I talk about being relatable, and that makes you relatable. That makes you qualify and put you in a position to be able to speak to people about certain things and to be in certain issues, because they'll be like, nah, he know. Like, how he know that part? Like, he knew exactly what I was feeling or what I was thinking without me even having to say it, because you've been through it.
Indeed.
You know what I'm saying? Or you've been through something similar where your mindset was there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you can go and talk to a dude in the streets.
Indeed.
You know what I'm saying? You can go and bring him out of that if he's ready, because obviously there has to be some point where he has to be ready from where he wants to have to go from where he's at to want to go somewhere else.
This right here is a self-quote. I say, I don't coach the willing, I coach the ready. Mm-hmm. Simple. Mm-hmm. I am not that kind of life coach that's gonna throw my stuff down your throat and beat down your door and whatnot. I do not coach the willing, I coach the ready. Yeah, because I know how much I put in my coaching. I know that life coaching is a life or death situation. Mm. See that any negligence on my end, you can slip back into depression, and it can be over. Mm. See that? Right. Any negligence on my part, any ill advice on my issue, or excuse me, on my part can cause a greater issue in your life.
How do you separate? Like, because I know you're still human. You still go through your own things. Indeed. So how do you? And I mean, this wasn't one of the questions, but just going off of what you're saying now, like, how do you separate that sometimes? Like, okay, you know what you're going through, but now you got to deal with somebody else's, thing and help them. Like,
you said the key word. You know what you're going through. You know what somebody else is going through. Having the ability to separate the two. That come with maturity. That come with introspective examination. That come with growth. Come with all that. Yeah.
Powerful, man. Just a couple more questions, man. We're gonna wrap it up. What challenges do you face as an entrepreneur in your life? You know, in the life coach field, like, you know, because you are an entrepreneur. You are, you know, you have not the store, but the, you know, the office in
Office space, yeah.
Yeah, in Endicott on Washington Ave. You know, you that's where you do the coaching, a lot of the coaching sections.
Not as of yet. Not as of yet.
Well,
we are
coming.
online. We're still virtual, and I'm taking very minimal one-on-one.
Right.
The pandemic.
But
yeah.
I understand. Well, you know, 2020 is different. But
man, listen.
But you know, just taking on the path of a life coach as an entrepreneur, like how is that? Is that challenging? Has that been like really challenging, or you know, do you sometimes feel like, man, I should just open up a store?
Think entrepreneurship becomes difficult when we have unrealistic expectations. And when we lack the fundamental things that make us successful. You actually do what am I how does how do I cope with what being an entrepreneur?
Right.
I think it's understanding the 4 seasons of life. The winter, spring, summer, fall. There'll be some seasons where things feel like everything is dead. Everything is cold. There's no productivity. There's nothing happening. Those are your winter seasons. You know, the seasons in that spring when things begin to bud and hey, you know, okay, that's spring. And that summer, things are flourishing. Oh man, numbers are coming in. I mean, I'm getting clientele. Oh my God, this is crazy. You know, I see my vision coming to fruition.
Right.
You know, things are happening.
Right.
Then there's the fall, where things begin to fall off, and you begin to question: am I doing things right? Like, am I even called to this? Like, am I supposed to be doing this? Like, you feel me? That's when things are falling. Things are falling apart. See that?
Right.
But it's all a part of
the cycle.
The cycle. The cycle is nasty, but it's necessary.
The cycle is nasty, but it's necessary.
It's disgusting.
I'm telling you, bro.
It's disgusting.
They're gonna have to watch this.
And you gotta know
watch
who
this
you
3
are.
times. They're gonna have to watch this episode 3 times, bro, to really get all the jewels, bro.
Yo, I say this live. I'll say this live. I know you guys done heard me stammer and stutter. I have a stutter. if you have not, it's very ironic how the universe or how source or how God can take your issue and make it an instrument. Growing up, I mean, I started really bad. So public speaking. I ain't saying nothing. I swear I ain't saying nothing. It's on a little bit, but yeah, he kind of took my issue, made it into an instrument. Who would ever think I'd be public speaking? Who would ever think I'd be life coaching, speaking to people, and you know, I couldn't even get a sentence out myself.
They said the same thing about Steve Harvey.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. He used to have a real bad story and couldn't talk in front of people. And the teachers used to tell him that he was crazy. He'd never been on TV.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we see what he's doing.
I mean, I know Steve Harvey.
But
I'll be the coach.
Oh, that's absolutely.
Indeed.
So, my last question would be,
yes,
what do you feel separates you from other life coaches?
I would have to say gift and experience. My gift and experience. Those are 2 things you cannot take away from me. My gift and what I've gone through, what I've learned, what made me so pedagogical, what kind of made me always in teaching position. You have to go through some things.
You gotta go through some things.
To be a life coach, you have to experience death, or a level of death.
Absolutely.
And the more areas you qualify into life coaching, like a life coach, relationship coach, and family coach, and mental health and wellness coach, please believe I've died in all those areas. I mean, and suffered crazy loss.
Heartbreaks, all
I'm talking about resurrection dead for 3 days, and getting back up type stuff. You know what I'm telling you?
Nah, I feel you. Nah, definitely.
But I had to learn to speak life into my own situation. See that? Seeing it dead before me. and still speaking.
Mm.
You see that?
Absolutely.
So now that's what makes me an effective life coach, because, or set me aside, because my experiences, I've gone through hell, so I can go down and, you know.
Yeah, and reach down and pick up the
You
people.
already know.
Well, y'all, that was that is LP the coach, y'all.
Yes.
LP the coach, man.
Oh.
And this was a great one, man. I think a lot of great information. I know a lot of great information came out of this episode. Again, man, if y'all feel like y'all got any value out of this, please feel free to donate, man. If y'all, man, I mean, if this was something,
man, forget feel like. Listen,
if you believe that
B-Cap, B-Cap, can I big you up real quick?
Go ahead, brother.
B-Cap is gonna blow up. So if you don't invest in it now, you're missing out.
I appreciate
this man is gonna blow up.
I appreciate
Indeed.
I appreciate
Indeed.
That. I appreciate that, my brother, man.
Sow something into this man. Give it to this man.
So before we go, I just want to, if anybody have questions, if you got a question that you want to throw out there real quick, man, please feel free to ask your brother any questions, and I'm sure he would be more than happy to
website.
Yeah, we're gonna do all that. We're gonna get to that.
Jump the gun.
So just if y'all got a question, please throw it in the comments real quick. Cause we did run over the little hour that I usually try to go, but it was just so much. He was just going in and hitting y'all with so many flex bombs and bells and bang bangers and all that I just had to let him ride. So if y'all got any questions, please, man, please just ask them the question, man. Throw it in the comment. I'll have them answer the question for you right here live. You know, so I just try to give a few seconds for that, for anybody who want to ask a question. Could be anything, man. It could be personal. It could be you could ask them a question about a friend that told you something earlier, and you just want to be able to give the person the right advice. You know, you know, just putting it out there to y'all. And if y'all don't have any questions, which I'm not seeing anything popping up, it's not nothing popping up right now. So if that's gonna be it for the night. Brother, would you please tell them where they can find you, where they can link up with you, where they can schedule some time? What you offer? Just
yes.
How many sessions do he give clients? How many sessions?
Well, I have package deals. I have different packages. I have a 3-month package. I have a 6-month, 9-month, and 12-month package. It all depends on your goal.
Okay.
Size of your goal. If you have a small goal, it's not gonna take long. You can narrow that down in 3 months. You know. And I also have a 25 for 25. When we actually launch our physical location, 25 for 25 is it's 25 minutes of immediate coaching for $25. That will be on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, my walking days. So my IG handle, LP the Coach. LP THACOACH. LP the Coach. The website to the I Coaching Network. Where we help our clients discover the power of I. It's www.theicoachingnetwork. www.theicoachingnetwork.
Yeah, there'll definitely be some. I'll write all that stuff and put it in the comments so that they can, go back and get all that information. Man, really appreciate it. Thank you for coming through, man.
Thanks for having me, man.
I told y'all this. I was excited and that this was going to be a big one. And I told y'all was going to have to tune in. You didn't want to miss it, man. And he definitely came through, delivered professionally, did what had to be done, man. So we really appreciate it. Thank you to all of y'all who came, who showed up and who watched it. I asked you to share it with all your friends and family. If you think that they might be able to get something out of it, share it, man. Just please, it helps. Share it. Like the post and share it with your friends and your family. Yeah, man, we're gonna end it on that terms, man.
Indeed.
Y'all know my vibes, man. It's power to the people all the time. Peace.